they will try to kill you. You needn't fear them, of course. They're no match for you. Try to keep the casualties to a minimum. But do what you have to do.
All great movements require few martyrs.
Alone now, I surveyed my surroundings and noticed a second time-streaming chamber. Its entrance identical to the first, but with one distinction. That crystal was significant, but how, I had not yet discovered.
Not the fastest I've done that, but pretty good. Going through this door should trigger the... Yeah, it did. Okay. So that's working.
Throughout the stronghold, I discovered evidence of my former nobility and my life as a Sarafan priest. This was the heritage so foully stolen from me when Kain raided my sacred crypt and defiled me.
Well, that's an issue. It split, but it paused. Strange. Give me a moment here. I'm actually going to go back to the old one then. That is weird. Go to 3 instead of 4. Reset. Okay. You guys should see the game here in just a moment. There it is. Attempt number 2 for today. You guys get to hear all of this again, unfortunately. But this one should work. This one had the... this was the one that I tested a few hours ago. And it was able to work for the most part. But there were a couple things I had to manually split for, so I'll just keep an eye on it.
Strangely, it seems to have the same effect on that peculiar weapon of yours. But you must believe me. I mean you no harm.
You can drop the benevolent facade, Mobius. I know who and what you are. I should kill you where you stand.
Perhaps you should, my boy. But you don't.
Are you so certain of that, Mobius?
My role as Time Guardian affords me a certain level of omniscience, Raziel. No, you don't kill me. That honor belongs to your
maker, Kain.
Some 30 years from now.
Ah, you two are a pair. You're just as fatalistic as he is.
Death comes for us all, Raziel. It's just a matter of time.
How is it that you know my name? We have never met.
On the contrary, Raziel, I know you very well. And it grieves me to see how cruelly Kain has used you. I knew you when you were one of the Sarafan Brotherhood, Raziel. We were even close.
Oh, please.
Fortunately, you need not love me now to be my ally.
Are we within the stronghold of the Sarafan priesthood?
Yes, but the glorious days of the Sarafan have long since passed, I'm afraid. This is a more cynical and indecorous age. My mercenary army now inhabits this stronghold. We strive to honor the memory of the Sarafan with our own humble crusade.
Is this the Vampire Vorador?
Yes, the scourge of the Circle, the most depraved and decadent example of his whole degenerate race. He slaughtered 6 of my fellow Guardians as they cowered defenseless in this room.
Not in the room.
Somehow survived this massacre.
I and 2 others. The Circle was devastated. Only we 3 were spared.
How convenient. You'll forgive me if I don't naively devour every scrap of information you toss me. You have a reputation for deceit.
And who has
I love how in that camera angle it kind of just looks like Raziel has the Superman hair, the curl.
Consider the source before you judge me too harshly. We'll forget about rekindling our old friendship then, but consider an alliance based on our common ground. We both want Kain dead. I can help you do it.
You don't want to meddle in this, old man. I know all about your sordid little schemes, but you're simply out of your depth on this one.
You underestimate me, Raziel. Let me show you. Even now, Kain is lying in wait for you.
Oh, by the way, warning now, there will be flashing lights during this game. This was before, I think it was, Pokemon, like the big Pokemon scandal and all that, so, yeah, epilepsy warning, just in case. And I will try to call them out before they happen.
Is destined to be the fulcrum upon which that balance turns. I believe you have already endured the wasteland wrought by his terrible, selfish decision. Kain's very existence is a cancer upon this world. As long as he lives, all of Nosgoth is in peril. You may never again be human, Raziel. But you can re-embrace the essence of your humanity and the nobility of your Sarafan heritage. Go to him, Raziel, and
end this.
But first, you will need to find your way out of the stronghold, and in this...
I love how the whole screen is glowing like flame colors, just because that's where the flame was.
You needn't fear them, of course. They're no match for you. Try to keep the casualties to a minimum, but do what you have to do. All great movements require...
I would absolutely love a reboot of this series. I think it would be awesome.
Alone now, I surveyed my surroundings and noticed a second time-streaming chamber. Its entrance identical to the first, but with one distinction. That crystal was significant, but how? I had not yet discovered.
Oh my god. Yeah, a little worse than last time, but whatever. Hey, the clock didn't stop this time. Don't have to rewatch it.
I discovered evidence of my former nobility.
Excuse me.
My life as a Sarafan priest. This was the heritage so foully stolen from me when Kain raided my sacred crypt and defiled me. Over there!
Okay, come on. Yeah, I didn't mean to pick that up, but whatever. Makes it slightly faster. I was gonna say, usually two of them come right away, but whatever.
From the influence of Mobius's cursed staff, I could feel the strength of the Soul Reaver slowly returning. If that orb was as debilitating to vampires as it was to the blade, it gave Mobius a powerful advantage over his enemies. I finally understood how Mobius's crusade could decimate the vampires so successfully. If he could immobilize his enemies, they were at his mercy. But why, I wondered, would the staff have any effect on the Reaver?
Get it!
As I
Look at that time save.
a strange sensation crept over me. An indescribable feeling of
Also,
disgust, a sense of vertigo, as reality itself.
these time saves
bent
might or might not be correct.
seemed to emanate from the sanctuary's famous chapel.
If there's a big jump in any of them,
The sense of
wait a couple of times wait a couple of splits, because it might be because I might have
beatified here as the martyr.
been too early on my split last time I ran this, or something. I know I do the light temple or light shrine very differently, or not very differently, but at the end it's pretty different. So you'll see probably like a 3-minute time save, and then all of a sudden it's down to like 2 minutes or something. I'll lose a minute, and that's just because I open the doors before activating the lights, and the auto splitter is set to split at the doors opening, saying that that's activating the lights.
The captive spirit inhabiting the Reaver was released.
Just small things like that.
Binding itself to me became my symbiotic weapon. And so the Reaver met its former self, still imprisoned in this corporeal shell. I watched, mesmerized, as the Wraith blade uncoiled itself and snaked down the length of the physical blade. Embracing its twin, its mirror self, the Reaver's long dormant spirit was now fully aroused. And for the first time,
Oh,
I felt the
Raziel,
presence of this other
stop.
entity, willful, ravenous, and deranged from thousands of years of imprisonment. The Reaver was now in command, and I, now merely its helpless host, felt my soul being leached to restore the blade. But the Reaver knew better than to destroy its host, and just as I neared the brink of oblivion, the blade released its hold on me. As I recovered, I realized we were now bound together in a fragile alliance. The Reaver no longer merely my symbiotic weapon, but a sentient parasite competing for control. What have you done to me, Mobius? Is this your
Oh, and quick thing. If the background / foreground moving like this gets you motion sickness or something, that's how it was supposed to be. Unfortunately, it was supposed to give you a sense of vertigo. If it's bothering you, after this cutscene, it will stop, and there's only like 2 other times where it shows up. 2 or 3.
I beg you to stay your hand. This was none of my doing. I have sought only to aid you in your righteous quest.
Why, you're trembling, Mobius. Has your confidence abandoned you? You seem to have made a fatal error by leaving your precious staff behind. Is that where all your courage comes from?
Listen to me, Raziel. You don't know what you're doing. I have taken an enormous risk by appearing here before you, so defenseless, yet eager to prove my good intentions. If there's anything left of the Seraphim in you, you won't do this. While you threaten me, your true enemy eludes you.
Don't concern yourself with Kain, old man.
He'll join you in hell soon enough.
As you said,
Death comes for us all.
Yes, the wheel of fate demands it.
What did you say?
The wheel of fate, the inexorable cycle of death and rebirth to which all men are compelled. We serve the same God, Raziel.
His mouth freaks me out.
To strike me down would be striking God's own attendant. And I don't believe even you would take that risk.
I tire of
Especially when he smirks and smiles like that. It's weird.
I know you fear me. I needn't concern myself with you. Kain is waiting for me.
Go then, Raziel. Seek Kain out and destroy him in the name of the one God we both serve. You, who were once a Seraphim priest, murdered, profaned, destroyed, and reborn again from his mercy. You are now most powerfully equipped to be his agent, his instrument of restoration and retribution.
My own vengeance is motivation enough.
By my soul, you almost had me, my little blue assassin. But that'll be the one and only chance you get. I assure you of that.
Oh my god, he disappeared.
I could now summon the blade at will, regardless of my strength.
People can just do that in this game.
Summoned, the blade's ravenous
In this
anger
universe,
could not
they can
be
just
contained.
disappear.
It devoured the
Kain does it all the time.
victims, and if I allowed it to become over-aroused, the Reaver would now turn its hunger on me.
There he goes again, talking about being aroused.
So this was the legendary Janos Ordrin, reputed to have been the most ancient and diabolical vampire to have ever existed. According to folklore, he lived high in the cliffs of Nosgoth's northern mountains and preyed mercilessly on the defenders.
It's funny, you can go around the whole,
His reign of terror
like,
ended when the Seraphim
tome,
finally
or
hunted
tomb.
him down and tore his throbbing heart from
And
his still living
this cutscene won't play until you either get close to the door or close to this part.
supposedly imbued with the power to restore
Since this is closer to where you first start, I would assume going to here would be faster than trying to go to the door.
fall into the hands of their enemies.
Because when the cutscene's over, it resets your position anyways.
Truly have been as monstrous as depicted here, or was this merely artistic license by the Seraphim, who sought to lionize themselves by demonizing their darkest enemy?
If it looks like I'm stopping in front of doors in order to open them, I sorta am, I'm sorta not. It takes a little bit for the for everything to, how do I say this? The animations kind of like go in a cycle. So when you land and everything, it does a cycle of an animation. and then, like, depending on when you hit the action button, which is square, to open the door, it might open it sooner, it might open it later, just depending on where you catch it in the animation cycle.
For the first time, I beheld the image of my Seraphan self, memorialized here among my fallen comrades.
It's nice though, I got a gold split.
It tortured me to see how
Might just... there's only movement in between that, so that might just be error, and the last time I was doing just manual splits.
Overwhelming, I could barely contain it. All I wanted at this moment was to find Kain and destroy him.
Okay, are these ladies going to be assholes, or... Yep. That wasn't too bad. They only hit me once. And the balcony part right here might seem that I'm losing a bunch of time. That's because the last time I split it right at that door. And not this door. So disregard that saying plus 3.8.
I emerged, and for the first time beheld Nosgoth in its former glory. The land overflowed with abundant life and vitality. And I knew with certainty then...
And you can't tell at all that the background is painted and static.
The corpse of Nosgoth, a lifeless husk bled dry by the corruption of Kain's parasitic empire.
I mean, when this came out, CRTs were the big thing. Like, I don't think there might have been 1 or 2 LCD panels at the time.
I sensed that the pillars lay to the northwest.
This game came out in 2001, so it is over 20 years old.
As I passed this arcane landmark, a wisp of the Reaver's energy...
I'm getting slightly better at actually swimming.
...created a beacon of sorts in the spirit world. If ever I found myself depleted in the spectral realm, and my soul...
You can swim multiple ways in this game. You could just, like, press the X button, like the jump button, to do a slow swim. Or you could hold the crouch button and keep tapping the X button, and that will do like a fast swim. But there's also, if you kind of mash or time the L1 and X button, or excuse me, your jump and jump and swim with your crouch, it will kind of interrupt the animation and it'll allow you to swim even faster.
These ancient obelisks were mysteriously attuned to my spiritual essence.
I don't know how much time save it does throughout the whole game, but it's something to do. Kind of like jumping everywhere. Jumping, you can definitely feel that it does save time. Like, even with, like, short, spots like this.
While I had only just escaped the stronghold,
it is faster than just the normal walking or running speed.
Infiltrating the fortress, however, would be no small feat. The balcony that had provided my escape was now well beyond my reach, leaving this massive gateway as the only means of entry. The gates were sealed, but like the time-streaming chamber I had seen earlier, their operation was undoubtedly linked to that odd crystal mounted above the entrance.
Now you might notice that I get my Reaver out there. It's just because leaving it in or leaving it out doesn't really matter. It doesn't deplete your health at all faster. The only time it depletes your health is when you actually use it. And if you use it too often or kill too many enemies, like at once, there's a ring that will show up around your health bar or health spiral. And if it goes completely red and becomes full circle, it really starts eating away at your health. It really doesn't matter until around the middle of the game. When you're in more forced fights with more enemies. So I think honestly they're pretty generous with the health that they give you in this game. After each shrine you get more health, and before you get to the middle of the game you're already on 2 shrines.
They seem to retain much of their former humanity. In this era, vampires were clearly not the uncontested predators we had been. These creatures were hunted mercilessly and oppressed.
What was cool is this game, if I'm not mistaken, had a couple more Reavers that were supposed to be in the game, like the Earth Reaver and the Spirit Reaver, like a couple more elements. But I'm not sure why they didn't do that. It might have been just development time. She was far enough away where it probably didn't matter, but I'd rather lose a second than lose like 4 in a 4-hour run. Hey, another gold split by 20 seconds. Goodness.
The pillars of Nosgoth.
That fight must have not went well for me last time.
Whole and uncorrupted. I had never beheld them in this
again, another 5, 6, 7 minute
resonated within me at the sight.
Actually, goodness, this is almost like a 9-minute cutscene. So grab your popcorn. I can't skip it.
I know you're there, Raziel.
Mobius led me to you, Kain, though I might have guessed you'd meet me here.
And if Mobius told you I was hidden on the underside of hell, would you throw yourself into oblivion to pursue me? Mobius trawls for the ignorant and unwary, hauling his gasping prey from the streams of their destinies. Stay out of his net.
No music in this.
Spare me your
Let's change that.
Kain. I have pursued you here for one purpose. You will pay for your betrayal, and balance will thus be restored to Nosgoth.
And whose will is
Kind of like lo-fi chill during this whole 9-minute cutscene.
Now, turn and face me. The chase is over.
This isn't a chase, Raziel. We are merely passengers on the wheel of destiny, describing a perfect circle to this point. We've been brought here for a reason. I've seen the beginning and the end of our story, however, and the tale is crude and ill-conceived. We must rewrite the ending of it. You.
Hey, yeah, this they're on super sale right now. I think you can just buy Soul Reaver 2 for like almost 89 cents or something like that.
I recall no such courtesy from you.
Indulge me, Raziel. All I ask is that you listen. This is the sublime moment of our undoing, Raziel. The ineffable
just
upon which swings the entire
be aware,
this is where all of Nosgoth is betrayed.
this game is really hard to run on Windows 10, Windows 11. It took a good 2 or 3 days for me to get this to a state that I'm actually able to run it reliably and with a controller. Google and forums will be your friend.
You are the reason this land becomes diseased. As long as you remain alive, you condemn Nosgoth to an eternity of decay.
still, Raziel. See this. As Ariel dies, I am being born to take her place as Balance Guardian. Such is my destiny.
Yeah, I think the only ones I don't own out of the series are the Blood Omen games. But, I've played through Soul Reaver 1 once or twice when I was a kid. But I played through Soul Reaver 2 many, many times. I used to do it as like a yearly anniversary type thing because I love the game so much. Defiance I never really owned until about last year. I still haven't really played it. Played the first like third of it, but that's about it.
The entire circle descends into madness, and I am tainted at the moment of my birth, instantly rendered incapable of fulfilling the role destiny has prepared for me.
Shall I show you the same mercy you showed the rest of the circle then? You blithely murdered them to restore their pillars, yet your hand faltered when it came to the final sacrifice. What makes you exempt, Kain? You're merely the last man standing. Why condemn me for simply carrying out what you hadn't the courage to do yourself?
Let's drop the moral posturing, shall we? We both know there's no altruism in this pursuit. Your reckless indignation led you here.
You only finished Defiance? If I'm not mistaken, Defiance is like this game where you can't skip the cutscenes at all. Is that true? I can't remember.
30 years hence, I am presented with a dilemma. Let's call it a two-sided coin. If the coin falls one way, I sacrifice myself and thus restore the pillars. But as the last surviving vampire, this would mean the annihilation of our species.
Hey, thanks for the follow, Frank.
If the coin lands on the reverse, I refuse the sacrifice and thus
I really got to lower those volumes on the follows and everything.
Either way, the game is rigged.
We agree then that the pillars are crucial and must be restored.
Yes, Raziel. That's why we've come full circle to this place.
So after all this, you make my case for me. To end this stalemate, you must die so that new guardians can be born.
Pillars don't belong to them, Raziel. They belong
Huh.
to us.
I just noticed in studio mode on Streamlabs,
There's a third
if you have it on studio mode,
monumental secret
my
in your very
thing that updates like when people have followed and everything, the last person that's followed, it only goes to the edit, it doesn't go to the live.
It's all laid out.
So that's unfortunate.
You said it yourself, Kain.
And I can't alt tab and fix it because the game will crash.
But suppose you throw a coin enough times. Suppose one day it lands on its edge.
Alright, finally. So we're gonna go here. Gonna get like 1 or 2 souls. And walk 20 steps.
I didn't know what impulse
Another cutscene.
my hand. Why I had so willingly allowed Kain to escape me when I had pursued him for so long. I had no reason to trust Kain after he had valued me so little. And yet, I found myself intrigued by his words.
What's nice is this cutscene can be triggered
Gallantly play his pawn,
either in the overworld or in the spirit world.
to devour.
Or material world.
Determined to expose them.
If you do it in the material world, it will like zoom in on one of those pillars that show the spectral plane symbol. Kind of like, hey, this is one of the secrets. When in reality, it's just, you know, a game mechanic. It's not a secret.
From the moment of my arrival, I had the constant and palpable
Oh.
sensation of being watched. Someone, it seemed,
You know what? Yeah, we'll just have the music go.
was here.
Otherwise, this game is really quiet without any music.
The door had been sealed for centuries. I began to realize it was no mere coincidence that I found myself standing here beneath this winged figure with blue skin and cloven hands so like my own, and bearing this unique key. And so it was with a sense of gravity and trepidation that I unsealed that ancient door and crossed the threshold.
Oh yeah, just in case you wanted to know, the door does close. I don't know why the game decides to show you that. Like, yeah. Okay. Good to know. Oh, another gold. By almost 3 seconds. That's nice.
As I entered the chamber, I sensed that it had been sealed for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years. And while this room was clearly built when the pillars were erected, I knew that no human hand could have shaped this place, and that perhaps it had
All
never
right.
been seen by human
This is where we
eyes.
meet Cthulhu.
Surrounding murals depicted
Or
the
Elder God.
place, their features so like my own, but beautiful, where mine were
I mean, he's a giant squid.
angelic.
It's basically
Mine were
Cthulhu.
demonic. I tried to decipher these images. A great war, but with combatants like none I had ever seen. The pillars, raised by this winged race, who thus defeated their adversaries. The winged beings again, writhing in agony, apparently afflicted with the same bloodthirst I had so recently suffered. And throughout the chamber, inscribed everywhere,
The new one that you sent me, worked for a good solid 5 minutes. And then instead of, splitting and continuing, it split and stopped the, yeah, it split and stopped. So I'm using the one that you sent earlier, and it's working pretty well.
my ancient benefactor. And I dared to hope we had parted ways forever. The silence was refreshing. It lasted. No doubt you have a conveniently inexpressible reason for your presence here.
Do not be insolent, Raziel. I am eternally present here and everywhere. Now
Yeah, I compared it to the other one. I think really the only difference that you had was the reset functionality. So I'm not sure why it stopped at all.
Omnipotent as you'd have me believe. Your hold on me appears to be tenuous. I no longer seem to need you. Yet I'm guessing you still need me.
This impudence is unworthy of you, Raziel. Do not forget that you have a task to fulfill here. You are indebted to me.
Indebted.
I think there is one other difference. I think you changed the cutscene pointer.
You forced me to inhabit this vile carcass.
I restored you to yourself, Raziel.
How do you get this game working with a controller?
The very enemy you just
I used DS4 Windows to use a PS4 controller with it,
I serve no one.
and you have to find
Mobius.
the DLL files, the direct input files that will work with it.
Tell Mobius that he's worshipping.
After this run, I'll probably like
You think his faithful followers
put something in chat or something like that to show what I used.
but beware. To embrace a serpent,
Did it stop as soon as you finished the first cutscene, or whereabouts did it stop?
he will seduce and deceive you.
It stopped at like 5 minutes 54 seconds, something like that.
Yet you let that degenerate deter your resolve.
It was when I went through one of the doors.
I harbor no illusions about his integrity, nor anyone else's. In fact, I am beset by manipulation on all sides. Merely seek the truth.
These These are the fathomless truths, Raziel.
Clapdusky.
Agony of birth and death and rebirth. This is the wheel of fate.
Oh, auto mod.
Which sustains all life. Vampires are an abomination, a plague which leeches this land of its spiritual strength. They obstruct the flow of life and death. Their souls stagnate in their wretched corpses.
Hopefully I can,
The wheel must turn. Death is inexorable and cannot be denied. Your destiny.
I am live. Let me go to the... What?
You are my soul reaver, the scourge of the vampires, reaper of their apostate souls. Remain steadfast.
Stream manager. There it is.
Vampire's parasitic curse and restore Nosgoth. Kain's blood belongs on your hands.
Yeah, I have high defensive language off.
For condemning me to
That's
this
weird.
repugnant form. But if and when I kill him, it will be for me alone to decide.
Strange.
Kain destroyed you without a flicker of remorse. He tore the soul from your noble corpse, and after you had served him faithfully,
Oh,
for a
demented
thousand
salad. Your...
discarded you in the abyss.
Yeah, it was auto mod. It said it was a sex-based term, by the way.
Raziel, let it guide your hand.
And I would just, like, you know, alt-tab and allow it, but right now that freezes my game, so... Because good old 21-year-old games. I think automod is set to its default right now on my streams. I'm not running, I'm swimming. This is a weird song.
I surfaced into a very different landscape. The daylight barely penetrated the dense canopy of this forest. Here I discovered an ancient ruin, unmistakably one of Mobius's time-streaming chambers. But
I'm confused on why not all of these are gold splits.
I didn't currently possess the means to break the seal, but I thought in time that I might.
Why would they do that? And they can't use it anymore.
Ah. Trying to avoid that. Now he's going to talk about Vorador.
Exposed. The creature vanished when he realized he was discovered, but I caught a glimpse of him, and his features were distinctive enough. This was the vampire Vorador, a monstrous assassin depicted in the stronghold. Strange that a creature brazen enough to assault the circle single-handedly would avoid confronting me. Very well. If Vorador would not come to me, I would go to him. But first I needed to find some means of reaching that terrace.
That wasn't too bad. That's going to save me a little bit of time. Because I think when I first ran through this, I was stuck in the, like, the sticky part of the swamp a little bit more.
There appeared to be a passage here, leading northward into the mountains. The opening, however, was obstructed and too high for me to reach. Perhaps later I would find the means to bypass these obstacles.
Just trying to avoid that animation, but whatever.
My lurking friend was nowhere to be seen, but I found these ruins even more intriguing. I recognized these arcane symbols from the chamber beneath the pillars, and realized that this shrine too was sealed to all but the bearer of the Reaver.
Sometimes you can grab things that are behind you, sometimes you can't. You know, the more that I think about it, I talked about how this part of the game would freeze on me all the time. I think that's when I was actually emulating the game, not running it on a PC. I mean, I was still running it on a PC, but you know what I mean. I wasn't running this PC specific version. Come on, camera. What are you doing?
Throughout this ancient shrine, murals depicted the winged race, the apocalyptic war against their mysterious and equally inhuman adversaries. These winged beings, it seemed, were not only the architects of the pillars, but of this enigmatic place as well. And just as in the pillar's chamber, this shrine was adorned throughout with imagery of the Reaver, depicted with the reverence of a holy icon.
Would that mean that Vordor was the was alive when all of these were built? I didn't think he was turned yet. I just realized you can't really see my health that well. Oh! Usually you can just time it. That one like turned me around for some reason. Come on, push it. Don't swipe at it, push it. Another good mechanic of this game. You have to use the terrain to, like in the spectral realm and the material realm, because they're different. That actually comes up in like a couple of the shrines. Face! You're supposed to auto face and you didn't. Dumb game. This one's gonna be a juicy little 2-minute time save. Nice. 2 minutes overall. I'll let the in-game sounds. By the way, when I open that door, be wary of flashing lights. And I think actually, be wary of flashing lights when I put the Reaver in.
As I neared the altar, I suddenly felt the Reaver
Like right about now.
of its own volition. Just as in William's chapel, the balance of power tangibly shifted. Voracious and willful, the Soul Reaver was now in control, and I, merely its helpless puppet. The Reaver plunged itself into
Oh,
the
it wasn't this
mysterious
one. Okay.
void and devoured
I know the
the energy
light
that emanated from
shrine,
within,
when you do this, and with the fire shrine, I think with
The
all of the other shrines, it flashes when you do the Reaver.
And I realized as
When,
I
like when
recovered
you
control,
plunge the Reaver in the forge.
these ancient shrines were forges, each purpose-built to enhance the Reaver with elemental power.
Yay, increase health. Literally does not matter right now. Only matters in about middle and end of the game. And not even the very end, because you could have like the smallest health you can, and you just won't
Now I
die.
understood the
Because,
purpose of the mysterious basins I had
spoiler,
seen throughout my journey.
you become
They were
invincible at the end of the
elemental
game.
fonts, each attuned to a fundamental essence. When I forged the blade, every font in Nosgoth with the same elemental attunement was simultaneously quickened. The Reaver's enhancements were never permanent, but these fonts enabled me to re-imbue the blade by bathing it in the elemental energy distilled therein.
Oh, I see what happened with the last couple splits. When I did this last time, I grabbed the plate first and then activated the light.
Concentric circles, one eclipsing the other. I recognize this symbol from the door sealing that other.
So really I only saved about
the one
40
I had seen
seconds.
in the lake, outside the
Which is still a good
Seraphic
save.
stronghold. Perhaps now, armed as I was with the elemental power of darkness, I could return and gain entry.
Yeah. Like I said, flashing lights. It's over though. At least for a while. Oh, camera, why are you like this? Thinks I'm in Blood Omen.
You're a ragged excuse for a savior.
Vorador.
I see my reputation precedes me.
It does.
All good.
Demented Salad, if you're still here, I noticed that you changed in the script, you changed the address that it's looking for the cutscenes a couple times.
But I'm wondering,
Are you using a pointer address?
list of these events, or the answer to them?
I don't know what you mean.
I will speak plainly then. I distrust your origins, stranger. Seeing you crawl from the putrid depths of Mobius's keep makes me question your purpose.
I would assume that you are, because if you're not, then it wouldn't work at all on mine.
Not human, clearly.
Or whenever you
And more demon.
reset the game, you probably wouldn't have the same outcomes.
It is no mere coincidence that your arrival in that clearing heralded the pillar's decay. And so I ask you plainly.
By the way, this is another very,
The pillar's destruction
very
or
long
salvation?
cutscene. I think it's another, like, almost 10-minute long cutscene.
Very well.
So I'm gonna play some music,
Let's look at the other side.
because it's just gonna be talking the whole
I
time.
have followed your journey and watched as you
Yeah, if it's a static pointer, it will work.
that have been sealed and forbidden
I know that.
for thousands of years. The path you have been treading is open to only
I'm just trying to get used to, like, looking at Cheat Engine,
you don't know what
and Cheat Engine is very
I have been
hard for me to look at,
If you find
unfortunately. I don't know what I'm doing.
What's the point? This world is beyond redemption. Let the human cattle have it.
I would expect better than meek capitulation from you.
Centuries of persecution have taught me well. 500 years ago, our race was nearly exterminated by the fanatical crusades of the Seraphan. And now the same sick drama unfolds again. In merely a decade, Mobius's cutthroat citizen army has nearly accomplished what the Seraphan could not.
That's good.
Vampires meddling in the
Yeah, because like I said, if it's not static, it would like break almost every time you restarted the game.
Secrets I've uncovered then. The depictions of the winged race, the pillars, and the Reaver.
Fairy tales, boy. The delusions of an ancient culture clinging to hope long after the world had discarded them. Their bloodline trickled away until only one of the ancients remained, sustained solely by obligation and his unfaltering faith in the old prophecies. But you see, even if you are who you appear to be, it no longer matters. You're simply too late. Janos Audron, the Reaver Guardian, the last of the ancients, and my maker, was murdered by the Seraphan nearly 5 centuries ago. He alone would have the answers you seek.
Wonder if it would be better to split and detect the splits every time you change a level instead. But I don't think that would work because you got you backtrack on a couple levels.
I'm afraid, my friend, that you and all of us are out of luck.
I had no less reason to trust Vorador than anyone else I had met. In fact, the ancient...
Because right now, from what I was looking at, what you do is
if Janos Audron was the key to
you get the level
I would find
and you count how many cutscenes go through it.
provide me passage.
And once that counter hits a specific count, you split.
And I suspected I would find the means within the lake's mysterious shrine.
Seize him.
Whoop. I can decipher code, but it's hard for me to write code.
Ah, my wayward child returns.
Having unearthed more than you'd like, I suspect. What am I to make of these ruins that litter the land, and these images here in this chamber?
Well, we're 1 hour in.
Seats of a failed civilization.
Close to 3 to go.
You are being misled, Raziel. This ancient race hoped to manipulate the future with these scrawled misdirections. You must tread carefully. There are dark forces at work in this world, bent on subverting your true destiny.
I have no doubt of that. The question is, am I in their presence right now?
Your arrogance will spell your demise, Raziel. Deny my will, and the arc of
Yeah.
your destiny will reach a sudden...
The thing is, I have more of a connection to this game because I didn't. When I was a kid, we did own the first game, but only for a small amount of time.
than you realize.
This game we got when we got our first PS2,
You're playing, Raziel.
and it just stuck with me. feel like the camera's a little off, but that happens. Like this though. It doesn't have to show you that it closes when you're on this side though. You hear it close, but it doesn't show you that it closes. Ooh. There it is. It called me an it. Is that water deep enough for me to actually swim? Because it looked like I got into the swimming animation briefly. There we go. That wasn't too bad. I don't know why it turned me around. Probably because I slid down the slope a little bit. But whatever. Now it's gotta show me that this door closes. Also, health does not matter in this shrine whatsoever. You reset your health so many times because you go into the spirit world.
These murals left no room for doubt. These winged creatures were indeed the architects of the pillars. And while the images were difficult to decipher, the pillars appeared to banish or diminish their enemies somehow.
I almost tried to open it, which would have lost me a little bit of time. But oh well. It's fine. Yep. Come back into the material realm just to be able to open this door and go right into the spirit realm again. At least from what I understand. I don't know if there's another way to do it. I don't think there is.
us will see her.
Yeah, Demented Salad. I think this is the first shrine that I don't agree with your route. But that's just personal. Like, personal preference, I should say. So it seems to be working past the ambush. It's possible that Live Split just died for some reason. It's really weird. How did you dodge those? Whatever. Okay. Raziel. His momentum was just carrying him. Glad I stepped forward. Usually it triggers the scene as soon as you go through. Is that Neil deGrasse Tyson? I think it was. Yeah, that's definitely Neil deGrasse Tyson. See, this is where we split. Because I opened these doors first. I see that's where you put the activate lights. So it might look like I'm saving a crap ton of time. I'm not. But it doesn't mess the auto splitter up too much. I think it gets back on track when I get the star and get the blade. I don't know if it's faster. I personally think it's faster because when you do these two cutscenes, you're already in, like, closer to the star piece. Give me the star piece. They didn't want to give it to me. Put it in. So yeah, it should normalize after this split. And last time I tested this particular one that you made, this split didn't work. Like the light blade, get the light blade split, even though the star piece one worked right before it. I don't know why, but let's see if that happens again. Again, warning, flashing lights. Yeah, it didn't automatically split. That's fine, though. At least I can catch it.
I plunged the Reaver into the forge and imbued the blade with the elemental power of light. Thus armed, I now had the means to re-enter the stronghold and finally use Mobius's time-streaming device to accomplish my own ends.
But yeah, the auto splitter should be on track again. Typically, I don't have to kill two of them. I just have to kill the shadow. Wonder why that guy was so close to the gate. So yeah, as soon as I exit this light shrine, it should auto-split. Yep, it did. I love it for some reason. I don't know why. But once I come back out here, I have to go and open the damn gate again. Double edge grab. 2 for luck. And time loss. Usually they don't duck. That's fine though. That was actually better than the last time I went through there. I don't know why, but it kept making me pick up the damn weapons. It's like, I don't want to use weapons, that's why I have the Reaver out. Oh yeah, vertigo thing again. Don't think there's any... Well, there are flashing lights.
Everything
I think.
decided here. You cannot comprehend the magnitude, the
rapture and the tragedy of this moment. And yet you must.
But again, this is another really long cutscene. As you can see, we have like almost 11 minutes until our next split. So get up, stretch, do whatever you need.
Because I'm cutting them. I set my own course from here.
If it were only that simple.
Your fatalism is tiresome, Kain.
And profoundly ingrained, Raziel. You must understand.
Also, last time I don't think the open gem door 2 was
You
working.
and I meet here because we are compelled to. We have always met here.
Chucked another version in the Discord.
Irredeemable.
Okay.
Drop a stone into a rushing river. The current
I'll test it out real quick after I do this run.
flows on as if the
Doing pretty good on this run, so
You and I
feel good
are
about it.
pebbles, Raziel, and have even less hope of disrupting the time stream. The continuum of history is simply too strong, too resilient. Except
What do the big streamers say? Don't get attached.
the beloved boy king turned.
Oh my god, auto mod.
In my youth, I witnessed William's rise to power and his transformation into the nemesis who laid waste to Nosgoth.
Keep your distance.
Apparently the word cuck is bullying.
I stumble upon a chance to journey back in history, unaware that the entire
Plus many
affair
mid-game runs to harder enemies. Yeah, the
in my wisdom
the demons that come out.
seize this opportunity to murder the ravage Nosgoth, and thereby provide the catalyst Mobius needs to ignite a genocidal.
I need to just turn off auto mod. Is that through stream elements or is that actually through Twitch?
One reckless act unravels the skein of history. The
If it was stream
nemesis
if
nemesis.
it was stream elements, it should be the other one.
The vampire
That's on Twitch itself.
the
Okay.
author of my own species' extinction, and Mobius profits from it all. I destroyed a tyrant only to create one.
Yeah, I noticed when I ran through it last time, I saved like 2 minutes
If history
on you
the answer
on one like
here in this room, Raziel.
on this mid-game part, and I think it's because you might have died.
William and me together, but ensured first that we were both armed with the Soul Reaver. The Reaver is the key. Two incarnations of the blade meet in time and space. A paradox is created, a temporal distortion.
It's exactly that.
powerful enough to derail history. Is this
It gets really close for me.
Raziel? Yours. You have nothing to fear from me, Raziel.
There's a part where I actually don't mind dying because it resets my health and everything. And if you do it correctly, right where you die is right where a
Then perhaps test your sincerity.
portal is.
If what you say is true,
So it doesn't lose you any time. It might lose you like 10 seconds or so for that damn animation.
And so you do, Raziel.
Oh, I actually sent you... Oh, you died. You didn't just go to the spirit realm. That sucks.
It's the pull of history rushing to meet us. This is where history and destiny collide.
Yeah, even in my last run, I died
We believe in free will, Raziel.
getting out
The time to
of
kill me.
the fire shrine. Or no.
Dragged down
Going back to
I was on
like the end game.
road of Balance Guardian in Nosgoth.
Some of the enemies are even harder to kill in the spirit world. That's because the Reaver is not as powerful as it is in the overworld.
Turn was yours. This is
Yeah, I understand that.
right, it, Raziel. This moment does not have to be an ending.
I've also noticed that in the spirit world, the AI is really dumb if you just like use your Reaver without auto facing
Our inevitable future.
and you just run around them. But even then, the worst demons to face, the ones that have all the spikes on them and are pretty much like black, those those are hard in both. Those are usually the ones that actually kill me.
What is this? History abhors paradox, Raziel. Even now, the time stream strains to divert itself, finding its old course blocked by your refusal to destroy me. The future is reshuffling itself to accommodate
Shaky
your
cam.
monumental decision. This is where we restore ourselves, Raziel, and reclaim our intended destinies. It may
And more vertigo.
assume my role as balance guardian and return the pillars to their rightful inheritors.
To the vampires.
And this is the destiny you have urged me to discover. I don't know what game you and Mobius are playing, Kain, but I refuse to be your pawn. Unlike you, I still revere whatever shred of humanity I've managed to preserve. You will not use me as the instrument of your messianic delusions.
Very well, Raziel. I'll not ask you to trust me. Your truths are for you to discover alone.
Humble words for one who presumes to teach me a lesson at every turn.
And continue your journey and learn your own lessons, Raziel. Remember, Mobius led you here, but you walk away unfettered. A champion of free will and conqueror of false histories.
Conqueror of false histories.
You to unearth. If
Isn't that just every winner of every war?
to see it.
Oh, wrong one. Don't know why it resets that, but whatever. It probably resets it so it's the correct color for the when the two Reavers meet. Yeah, I go right. Isn't that correct? Yeah, okay. I have two doggies after me. And they just lie down as soon as you try to go through the door.
Seize him.
I'm actually going to save a little bit more time on this. Because I decided to get the Light Reaver without having to fight these two guys up here. I should just be able to go straight through the door with no issues, right? Yeah, cool. See, I don't know why, but it didn't open the gym door there.
I like that look
Weird.
on your face, Mobius. You really don't know what to do now, do you, old man? Here you are, caught without your damn staff.
Oh, and the reason why I saved so much time there,
As you'd hoped.
and that's just on my split,
Turning to confront you in your
I went the wrong way twice in my last run.
Influence has poisoned your mind, Raziel.
That ambush at the statue place,
Even in your closest allies.
We were
even
never
as a kid, it turned me around so much.
perhaps. Briefly.
Why did you not kill Kain when you had the chance? He was at your mercy.
Precisely. I had a choice, and I chose mercy. And now I know your sordid little secret. The significance of that displacement I felt when the two Reavers came together. Strangely enough, I was enlightened by the devious Kain, not by you. In fact, I've learned much more than you counted on. I understand now how you've tried to manipulate all of history for your own personal gain. But now all your little schemes are whirling in ruin around you, aren't they? All because I chose to exert my will for once, rather than obey the demands of sorcerers and spirits and demons, all singing the same tiresome refrain, "Kill Kain."
Kill Kain, kill Kain.
I intend to discover the truth behind all of this.
But you condemn us all with this impetuous act.
Hardly impetuous. It took all the will I could muster. Has my refusal to kill Kain reshuffled your carefully stacked deck of cards?
You really think
Also, demented salad. Which hearts do you grab? Like, what hearts do you grab in what order
Kain, I merely did not
for the air shrine?
Do not forget your purpose here.
I do regular Reaver, light Reaver, and dark Reaver.
Oh, I'm sick of hearing that particular phrase. As for saving Nosgoth, so far I see precious little reason to bother. And I'll choose my own purpose from here on out, Time Streamer.
I don't know if it matters.
I choose to manipulate you.
Like on the auto splitter.
Go. There.
What are you doing?
Come now, Mobius. You're a cunning serpent. You'll piece it together, I imagine. This error is of no further use to me. You will operate this device to provide me passage. I want to see the world in a simpler time, before the Sarafan began their crusade.
And what about Kain? You're leaving your core behind.
You kill him if it's so damned important.
You need only touch the two poles of the switch, and the device will transport you.
Do you remember if it matters which one I grab for the auto splitter?
Rot here.
Because it's just numbered 1, 2, 3. Oh, flashing lights. Grab red first, but I don't know if it matters or not. Okay.
Even as I emerged from that infernal time-streaming chamber, I suspected treachery. The stronghold was vacant, derelict, abandoned.
You guys don't matter. Get away from me. Only these ones do. Where are you? Stop it. Oh, wrong way. This is about the health that I want to be at, actually. Mainly because of right here. Well, I didn't have any issues there. Usually I get like grabbed once or twice and have to be sent to the spirit realm. And that's where the portal is. So I might lose about 30 seconds. Because I'm gonna probably die here soon. Or at least get sent to the spirit realm.
And if I required further evidence, I needed only to behold the gruesome trophy Mobius held aloft. A severed head of Vorador.
Nice. Minus 420.
Mobius's cutthroat mob. His execution marked the annihilation of the vampires. Far from channeling me into Nosgoth's past, Mobius had propelled me over a century to its ghastly future. The intent behind this little detour was unmistakable. Having failed to make me his obedient assassin, Mobius intended to keep me ignorant of my true destiny, which clearly lay in Nosgoth's past. While his deception only reinforced my purpose, Mobius had effectively stranded me here. This left me no course but to explore the era I now occupied and see what changes the century had wrought following Kain's ill-fated decision. Perhaps time had cleared a path for me into the mountains, where I might unearth more clues behind the mystery of Janos Audron.
This version of the auto splitter, I only tested up to meet Ariel. So. Here's hoping it goes well after that.
What pathetic charade is this now, Mobius?
No charade, Raziel. Only the entreaties of this martyred spirit.
Your pleas mean nothing to me after all your deceit. You have propelled me into Nosgoth's future, Mobius, and left me stranded here.
I am truly sorry, Raziel, but it was necessary. Consider it the last valiant act of a doomed man. You have strayed from your purpose, and now behold the result. Gaze upon the wasteland you and Kain authored together.
I fail to see how I'm responsible.
You spared Kain, and by doing so, you have released a multitude of horrors upon this world. I can accept that Kain has murdered me, as the Time Guardian. I foresaw that incident long before it occurred, and I take some small comfort in the fact that Kain remains the sole survivor of his vile breed. But you have single-handedly made my sacrifice meaningless.
Your argument is disingenuous, Time Streamer. I cannot see how killing or sparing Kain's future self would alter these events. This wasteland was created by Kain's original refusal at the...
Sorry, if I look like I'm staring out into space, I'm trying to remember exactly how to do all the hearts and the air shrine. The one that really gets me is the one where you have to go like back and forth. But the rest of them are just fine. Just have to remember to actually change the color of the Reaver on one of them. Lost like almost a minute or two on that.
I don't think this has anything to do with the pillars or Kain's failure to sacrifice himself. I think you're simply afraid because you don't know what he's up to. He's a wild card, isn't he? And you don't want his influence in your game. Which is why you wanted me to eliminate him. Well, now that he survived, you have no idea what's coming, do you? Maybe, for the first time in your entire life, you're terrified that he may have truly found a third option out of the dilemma you orchestrated for him.
Kain's lies have addled your mind. Leave this place and trouble my spirit no more.
If you really are a spirit.
You've forgotten. I have a way to tell for sure. If you're willing to risk it. I didn't think so. Either way, you lose.
I lived. That's where I usually die if I don't die on the other one. Okay, I'm not gonna lose that much time. Oh, geesh. Okay, I'm in the danger zone. I should have got it there. Oops. Ooh. Oh wait, no, it doesn't matter because once I go here, I go into the spectral realm. So yeah, okay, I'm good. I'm thinking of another spot.
These were the pillars so familiar to my blighted eyes. But now that I had begun to learn their true significance, I regarded the pillars' destruction with a new, enlightened sense of horror. And I questioned now whether
And another almost 10-minute. No, I think this is only a 5-minute one.
I felt that some darker influence was at work here. As I approached, I discerned the spirit of Ariel, bound here now for more than a century.
Forever am I bound, hope abandoned, my spirit tethered to this place. What destroyed the circle could not touch me, for I was newly dead and beyond harm's reach. I alone was spared the descent into madness, and Kain alone was spared the pain of death. When Napraptor's poison seized Kain even in the safety of the womb, much more than just his destiny was lost. All of Nosgoth lost balance. Consider us now, both of us less than we once were. I, pure but insubstantial.
I really wonder if she just like goes through all this dialogue,
but corrupted.
like for these 100 years before she meets Raziel.
You fixate on Kain because you believe he is the tether that binds you here. We both know he is not the author.
She just keeps saying it over and over and over again until somebody finally listens. And then she's surprised that somebody listens to her.
The more I learn of your circle, the more I see a tangle of nested manipulations.
Kain handed them their victory. They sought to topple the pillars, and he was their willing instrument.
Or was he their unwilling pawn? Would it blunt your wrath to know that Kain's dilemma was calculated to bring the pillars down, regardless of the choice he made? And that the devastation would have been even greater had he chosen the path you would prescribe for him?
You are a subtle, deceitful creature. But your clever arguments do not absolve Kain. He must die for the pillars to be restored. There is no other way.
Then consider this more ominous possibility. What if Kain's death does not restore the pillars? Consider that it may simply be too late, that this world may be beyond redemption, and that you may be bound here eternally.
Why do you hound me, demon? You can see that I am captive here. Show me some mercy.
Like the mercy you showed your fellow Guardians when you set Kain on them? Or the mercy you showed Kain when you kept him ignorant of his destiny while you used him as the scourge of the Circle? Or perhaps like the mercy you showed your beloved Naprapta when you made him Kain's first kill?
You are cruel. Why do you torment me?
I'm merely looking for answers, Ariel. Very well. I'll leave you in peace. But know this about you and this purgatory from which you long to escape. You're merely at the threshold.
Yeah, I'm not fighting you. Bye. Damn it. Try and do that without getting hurt. So I didn't have to do the Devour Soul thing. Can you not do that? Thank you. You don't matter. In fact, I think none of them matter until after the Elder God. I think. There might be one. Yes, you gotta show me that the door closes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, Elder God 3 worked. Oh. Oh, I lost 10 seconds on that. Why? How? What? It might have only lost 3 seconds. Because like I said, I did all of these manually. I might have like done the aerial one late.
To preserve his own life, even when it meant sacrificing the whole world. This is the fate of Nosgoth, as long as Kain remains alive.
An ironic condemnation, given this guilty scene. One would think you'd torn down the pillars single-handedly. What are you trying to obliterate as you drag your loathsome body through this chamber? And why, as Nosgoth descends into madness and misery, do you appear to thrive? Things in this world, I am learning, are rarely what they seem. You, apparently, are no exception.
I am the engine of life, the source of Nosgoth's very existence. I am the hub of the wheel, the origin of all life, the devourer of death.
Or maybe you're just hungry. Could it be as simple as that?
Maybe you're just hungry.
The great adversary of the vampires turns out to be the biggest parasite of them all.
Do not test my patience, Raziel. I made you,
and I can unmake you.
I become so inclined.
Okay, Mom.
As your agent, I am beyond death.
I brought you into this world. I can bring you out.
Worse than death, Raziel.
Oh, I see you now as you truly are. A cancer. A spooling parasite burrowed deep in the heart of this world.
Go now. Play out your pitiful rebellion and take your place among the destroyed, the used,
and the damned.
But know this, you are mine for eternity. You have always been and will always be my soul Reaver.
Roll credits. You guys don't matter. Oh. Weird. Whee! That was a lot better than I did that last time.
The passage of time had indeed cleared my way forward, enabling me to explore the northern mountains of Nosgoth. I was anxious to discover if some evidence of Janos Ordren's existence might still remain.
Here's one! There we go. Ooh, a 21 time, second time save.
Here I discovered the quaint hamlet of Ustenheim, now long abandoned.
Ustenheim. I never actually realized he said the name of the town.
The Sarafan hunters ferreted him out and destroyed him. If there was any truth to the old tale,
Playing this game for almost 20 years. I just realized he says it.
far away.
Guess I've never actually like paid attention to it. I just know it's the town in the mountains. Luckily, if I die here, I have this. Okay, I didn't die, and oh, that was luck. That was good luck.
This edifice was clearly not crafted by human architects. As the figure beneath the balcony silently attested, these were the Ares of winged beings. Undoubtedly, I stood before the mountain refuge of the legendary Janos Ordren.
Actually, this close of
Entire sanctuary
switching planes
collapsed under the force
right now, just to get full health.
As I suspected, the time streamer's deception ensured that I was centuries too late to unearth anything of consequence here.
I think that's what I'm gonna do.
With nothing behind me but the wasteland I had traversed, I resolved to press on and explore these canyons further. Oh no.
Wow.
Every
I have to
time
wait for
something
Kain's speech.
monumental and terrible happens, I don't think I have the stomach for it.
No drama this time, Razia.
You are persistent, crossing time like this to follow me. Still waiting for that coin of yours to land on its edge.
I'm biding my time. I see that Mobius has played a little trick on you.
Yes. Clearly doesn't want me to meet this Janos Ordren.
Perhaps. Or maybe Maybe he merely hoped that it would harden your heart against me, to see this wasteland which I single-handedly authored.
My heart doesn't need hardening, Kain. If I even suspected that destroying you would make any difference, I would do it this instant.
I knew you'd see through them, Raziel. Janos is indeed the key to your destiny, but you'll need to find your own way back into Nosgoth's path. Make no mistake though, Raziel. You and I are now in great danger. We are irritants here. Malevolent forces are being marshaled to eliminate us.
You talk as though we're allies.
Regardless of your sentiments, Raziel, in their eyes, we are.
Well, they're certainly trying to eliminate you, Kain. There can be no doubt of that. I am assaulted relentlessly with demands for your demise. Whatever it is that you're plotting, they're scared to death of it. As for me, I suspect they made a grave error when they allowed my unique resurrection. I don't think they know how to destroy me.
You mustn't underestimate them, Raziel.
Who exactly is this diabolical they to which we keep referring? If there's some grand conspiracy going on, the right hand doesn't appear to know what the left is doing. Even Mobius seems to be caught out at every turn.
Mobius is a puppet, Raziel. Haven't you realized that yet? That's the sweetest irony in all of this. Nosgoth's great manipulator is their plaything. But the ones pulling the strings haven't shown their faces yet.
They don't like us unwriting their carefully choreographed history, though, do they?
You must understand, Raziel, we haven't unwritten history, we've merely rewritten. The future flows around our petty actions, finding the path of least resistance, while admitting only the slightest alterations. This is the reshuffling you felt when you refused to kill me. And remember, Raziel, we are irritants in this regard as well. History will not allow the introduction of a paradox.
And if events cannot be reshuffled to accommodate the change?
It is the irritant who's expelled. Bear in mind, this may be exactly the outcome our enemies are trying to provoke. We must tread very carefully.
Wasting a little bit of time, but it's fine, right? Okay. That way I have full health. Because I was literally like one hit away from dying. Okay. Good, good, good. Quickly go over here and get the Dark Reaver. That wasn't too bad. 26 seconds lost because I went into the spirit realm and wasted time there. But I would have died. And I'm pretty sure I can get a lot of time back from this entire shrine. Since I remember what I'm doing now.
The scenes I discovered here were
I lost 26 seconds to possibly gain like 2 or 3 minutes. That's how much I messed up in this shrine.
Their bloodthirst appeared to be a curse inflicted upon them by their vanquished enemies.
I also lost a lot of time getting up to Janos, which I do remember what I'm doing now, and I should be able to go through it a lot faster. Because I know where everything is in my head. Hopefully.
And what role he had plotted for me. And why Mobius and the dark powers with which he seemed to be allied were so desperate to see Kain dead, and so intent on me being the instrument of his execution.
The only time you ever see this kind of mechanic, where lighting something up, like, destroyed it. Snatch. I think there's actually another fight here, isn't there? Yeah. Okay, you said you grabbed red first, but I don't know which one that is. Oh, that's dark. Whoops. Light. Okay. On this one, I get the Dark Reaver first. Go over, blind, and do the other thing. Oops. Should have went over there and killed the thing, but that's okay. I get the Dark Reaver first. Put that open. Do that. Do that. Go over here. Open the door. Flashing lights. I have to worry about that guy. Looks like I'm saving a bunch of time. Hey, and I got that I grabbed the heart piece, so that's good. So it looks like it doesn't matter which one you grab, which is nice. Did it get the place heart one? I think I messed that one up. That's okay. It should still work. Flashing lights. Gotta love them. Well, this feels a lot faster. Like I said, I'm gonna save a lot of time here, I think. There's the grab. There's the place. And this one, I don't know if I'm going to get any, faster. I might. I don't think I will, though. No, that's the right one. Just didn't load fully. I don't know. I don't think there's actually much to do on this. This one's like the fastest one. I think. One of them. Why did I have momentum? I wasn't even using the sticks. Alright. Last heart piece. Better close your eye. Oh, that's a good PB. That's a good split. See, I think they tried to make this look red, but they made it more orange. Like, Like, it's definitely supposed to be the red one, but it's orange. At least to me it is. It's like lava. That one didn't auto-split. Which makes sense because it's the one that you grabbed first. So I was expecting another thing that I didn't grab. Which is okay. That's fine. I knew about it, so I could react to it pretty easily. All right. Again, flashing lights. Pretty sure. There's like fireworks that go off and stuff. Yep. Oh, don't you love to be flashbanged by your games? Oh, it was 6 seconds faster than last time.
As the Reaver drained the forge of its vital energy, the tempest receded. I recovered myself and paused to admire my newly.
This is my favorite Reaver.
Now imbued with the elemental.
And I will always say this. It's my favorite just because it lets you walk through the swamp at normal speed.
Possess the means to escape this wasted land. This elemental Reaver I discovered had the power to obliterate barriers that were cracked or compromised. At last, I had the means to open that ruined time-streaming chamber I discovered so long ago in the swamp. Now, perhaps, I could leave this wasteland and return to an era when Janos Ordrin still lived.
Probably gonna be like a little bit slower because of that. Just a tiny bit. I thought so. That's okay. I like how it goes through that cutscene to show you that it's sealed and so you don't get killed by the eye. Attack! Oh, God. Where am I going? He sometimes gets me. Surprised he didn't. Oh. I hate you. I even heard the thing lock. Unlucky. This music's slapping though. Can you not? Fucking attack dog thing? Again, I still don't know if this is faster or slower, but I'm taking this way. Because it is less swamp I have to go through, I think. Just, I don't know if that climb makes it faster, or like, makes it slower. Whoa! Almost made an oopsie. Lost 7 seconds because I was going back to the Elder God. Whoops. Wrong part of the game.
Choice but to act purely on blind faith. There was no way to tell what error this device was tuned to, and I had neither the knowledge nor the means to set the machine myself. I hesitated only briefly. Then, throwing the switch, I hurled myself into oblivion and relinquished my will to the hand of fate.
Flashing lights. All right, we're in part, like 3/4 of the way through. It ate my jump input. That's fine. I'm fine.
Beyond all hope and against all probability, it seemed that the device had unerringly delivered me to the era I sought. For these were Sarafan banners, and these vampires apparently the victims of their crusade. The coincidence seemed too convenient to naively ascribe to fate. But whether my opportune arrival had been orchestrated by Mobius or some other influence, I didn't know. If Janos Ordrin still lived, I would find him. I was wary of further deception and resolved to tread carefully.
Now the door works properly. I don't have to kick it open. Splash, splash. Splash, splash. Splash. And that is why you keep the air Reaver on.
For all the butchery of Mobius's crusade, this massacre was somehow more chilling. The killing fields of the Sarafan betrayed a kind of orderly ruthlessness, the cold-blooded righteousness of the true believer.
I don't fight any demons until after the fire shrine, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because those are the ambushes. That's right.
That is holy. Here at last, in the flesh, I beheld my former brothers in arms, the warrior priests of the Sarafan Order, their lives devoted solely to the annihilation of the vampire plague. And while I confess I felt a twinge of longing, a pang of grief for what I had believed was my lost virtue, I regarded them now with none of the reverence I formerly felt. For I had seen the human face of the vampires, and now I beheld the monstrousness of these men.
And women. Can't forget the women that all cast fireballs from snow. I wonder if they, like, if that is blessing the snow as holy water, and that's how they get away with it. Because water doesn't hurt them, but I'm sure holy water still would. Which, come to think of it, if that's true, and he's supposed to be the Elder God's servant, get what I'm putting down? I'm not gonna get lucky again, am I? Nope. Can you let me attack? There we go. gonna lose a little bit of time here. I think. Ow. Hey! Now. Can you... Oh, these assholes. I hate them. Lost me almost 20 seconds. Damn.
After my long journey, I finally stood on the threshold of enlightenment. For here was Janos Ordrin's mountain retreat, intact and unblemished. The upheaval that would one day topple this ancient...
Okay, this is where I can save a lot of time if I remember exactly what to do. Which I'm pretty sure I do. Pretty sure. Hopefully. Hoping.
There was only one obstacle. How to reach the balcony suspended at that maddening height, so far beyond my reach. For this was the architecture of winged creatures. The tattered ruins of my wings were of no use. I would need to devise some other means into that mountain.
Can you imagine if the game developers like accidentally put that slightly too low where you could just jump up to it? Like high jump up to it or something? Such a painful thing to do. I mean, I'm sure that would get play tested out. Oh yeah, that was a time save. Let's keep going.
The mountain's interior was hollow, I discovered, and graced with soaring architecture unique to its creators. As with the outer facade, these balconies and galleries could only be reached by those gifted with flight. With only my ruined wings to carry me, this towering labyrinth seemed impassable. While the object of my quest lay just beyond my grasp. For here,
Oh, you can do it.
at the apex of the chamber, was the threshold that surely led to the great vampire himself. I didn't know whether Janos Ordran was the monster depicted in the stronghold, or one of the noble creatures memorialized among the ruins of the ancient vampires. And I didn't care. Demon or angel, he alone held the key to my destiny.
First things first, need to get the light. Another 50 seconds. Yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna save a lot of time on this. Because I remember what I'm doing. Instead of having to look around and be like, where do I go? I think you only need to do 2 of them. And need is a strong word. Suggest to do 2 of them. The things that lift you up in the air. Yep. Yep. I just swore there was another one. Okay. See, that's why you do that one. Whoops. That's fine. Because now I have to run all the way over here and do it. Do. I'll do those two when I need to get the air one again. Actually, I might only need to do one of... No, I'll do two of them. Because I need to do the air and then... Yeah. I don't know what all it's counting. Come on. I don't even need that one. Like, this is the last container, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Weird. I wonder why I lost 35 seconds on that. Strange. I sat there thinking for almost 3 seconds, apparently. Oh, this is a pretty long one.
Janos Audrin? It is heartening after all these years to hear my name spoken without contempt. Raziel? My child, what have they done to you?
I have been dragged through hell and back. All it seems to reach this moment. But I don't yet know why.
For thousands of years I have waited, alone here, losing faith. At the time of the binding, 9 guardians were called to serve the pillars, and I was summoned as the 10th guardian, the keeper of the Reaver, the weapon of our salvation. Over time, our race died out, until I alone remained, sustained only by my obligation to you and by my guardianship of the blade.
And the other 9? Why did their guardianship not sustain them?
I don't know. As our race dwindled, the humans prospered. I have watched over the centuries as our history faded into myth and finally receded altogether. The humans have forgotten us entirely and claimed the pillars for themselves, wholly ignorant of their true purpose. To them, I am merely a devil, the origin of their vampire plague.
Why would the pillars summon human guardians then, if they are meant to be served by vampires?
The pillars choose their guardians from birth, Raziel, and vampires are no longer born. This is the crux of our dilemma, and this is the terrible irony. With their vampire purge, the members of the Circle have assaulted the very architects of the pillars they are sworn to protect. They have embarked on a treacherous path. With every vampire they kill, the humans are slitting their own throats. They know I'm up here, beyond their reach, and it terrifies them. You can see how they flaunt their kills to torment me, or perhaps simply to lure me out.
So how's everyone doing? Because this is another 4 minutes, almost.
Not that fragile.
I've seen them mustering their forces in the village below.
Yes. I don't know what they're plotting, but I fear our time may be bitterly short. Mankind seems to have brought you only torment and grief. You must.
I don't think I'm on pace for record,
And they despise.
but I am really on pace for getting close.
I do not hate them. Vorador does. He has suffered much. He cannot forgive them. Should they be forgiven? They don't understand what they're doing. They are simply unenlightened and vulnerable to manipulation. So, it's all true then, what Kain and Vorador have told me. I really am some kind of unholy vampire messiah. Unholy? No. Messiah, perhaps. I don't like that word. It smells of martyrdom. Raziel, your role in this world's destiny is more crucial and more benevolent than you've allowed yourself to believe. Your journey will not be easy. Dark powers are allied against you. But I think you already know this. You appear to have been cruelly tested. The binding must be secured, Raziel. The pillars are the lock.
And the Reaver is the key.
Yes.
The Reaver is here. Why do I feel nothing?
Sorry, I was just checking my phone, because got nothing else to do.
They infused the blade with vampiric energy, empowering the Reaver to drain our enemies of their precious lifeblood.
As Janos presented the blade,
Hey, look, it's floating. There's two of them. Now there's one.
crept over me, more palpable than anything I'd felt before. I was at once horribly repelled by the sword, and yet irresistibly compelled to touch it, to take it up. Please, take it away from me.
Okay.
I fear you have been followed.
By yourself.
You must save yourself, Raziel. Janos! No!
No!
My surroundings
See,
whirled
I should-
suddenly, and I found myself transported safely
Yeah,
away
that
from the
didn't...
ambush to
I don't know
an
why,
adjacent
but that
chamber.
didn't auto-split.
Janos had delivered me from the Sarafan, selflessly forfeiting his own safety
That's fine,
to
though.
preserve my life.
At least should.
And now I feared that my newfound mentor would be slaughtered by the very crusaders I had so recently revered. The irony pierced me, and with dawning horror, I realized that I had been duped by Mobius from the beginning. For the Sarafan had simply followed the path I gullibly blazed through this sanctuary, and had arrived bearing Mobius' staff. Thus armed, they had Janos at their mercy. Through the door, I could hear them battling, less than a dozen paces away. But it may as well have been 1,000 miles, for this barrier was sealed by elemental forces I did not possess.
Oh, it's not that
Janos
hard.
had conveyed me into the heart of the fire shrine. I thought perhaps if I could galvanize the forge and imbue the Reaver in time, I might have a slim chance of saving Janos from his grisly fate.
Come on. Let me do something here. Do 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 do. It's only plus 16 seconds because of the last time I did it. Again, flashing lights.
I plunged the Reaver into that furnace and forged the blade with elemental fire. With the Reaver thus imbued, I was now armed to unlock the elemental barrier and rescue Janos from his executioners.
Another pretty long cutscene. Not as long as the last, like, big one with Janos, but it's still pretty long.
Look at his black heart. How it still beats.
Seriously, how could you not remember that?
Raziel, we must get out of here.
Remember the sword.
Forgive me. I'm sorry. I failed you.
No, Razia. Perhaps this was my true purpose. Simply to save your life this once.
While I have taken yours.
Embrace your destiny, Razia. You must reclaim the Reaver. It was forged for you and you alone. Without it, there is no hope.
Didn't realize there was a reflection there.
As I backed away from Janos's body, I was overwhelmed by a sense of self-loathing.
Like an active
so
one,
deep,
at least.
I could barely contain it. In that instant, I rejected all that I ever was, and embraced the role Janos had safeguarded for me so patiently throughout the centuries. I knew then what I had to do, the task for which I was uniquely prepared. I would pursue the Sarafan dogs to their loathsome fortress and avenge Janos Audrin's murder. Mobius would pay dearly for his treachery, and my Sarafan brethren would reap the horrors they had sown. I would retake the stolen Reaver, which was rightfully mine. And finally, when all these debts had been paid, I would reclaim Janos Audrin's heart from their filthy, unworthy hands. If the heart was truly imbued with the power to restore vampiric unlife, its highest purpose.
This part of the run will determine if I'm going to probably get world record or not. Especially with how close it is right now.
So, these demonic pests were not merely the product of Nosgoth's corrupted future, for here they were, hurtling back over 5 centuries to pursue me. These creatures, I suspected, were minions of the unseen forces that had hoped to control me. This was the tangible expression of their displeasure. These demons were unleashed as the penalty for my disobedience.
Can you stop running when I'm not running? Hate that.
Do you really think you can say Nosgoth? Let me enlighten you, poor Raziel.
Oh, I'm a damned one.
There he is, the savior of Nosgoth.
Wait, I didn't need to do that. Just lost some time because of that. Oops. Not too much though. That one wasn't bad. Oh. This is supposed to be the big guy too. Okay. Well, I just saved a lot of time. Okay, this is good. This is really good. Oh, this is really good.
I wonder, old one, did you truly resurrect me, or were you simply there when I awakened from my torment in the abyss? I suspect you found me merely convenient, dropped in your lair by Kain, indestructible for some reason, a durable and gullible tool for you to manipulate. This one thing I readily admit. I have been used by others time and again.
I'm gonna switch over to the spirit world real quick because I know there should be a portal either up top here or on his body.
On and on, in an endless succession of humiliating deaths and resurrections.
I just need to refill my health.
It seems there is much more to my destiny and my history than I know. Perhaps more than you know as well.
Well, that wasn't good.
The wheel of fate howls for your soul, though its hunger will never be assuaged.
Should have just popped down here then. God damn it. Damn shadows. Don't have to fight these ones. It's gonna go around. Why am I losing so much time? Did I really lose that much time just on trying to get health back? That really sucks. Okay. Should be okay though, because I have full health, I should be able to kill these fuckers without too much difficulty.
He thinks he can change his destiny. What a fool.
This is the one that can really fuck me up though. I was gonna say I need to. I didn't die, but I would have died if I would have tried to go through that whole thing. I should be okay, though. Will really depend on the fights and everything. Remember, I need this. Oof. Got hit from behind. Ah, come on. Typically not that accurate. Oh, open the gym door. Nice. Come on. Okay. Heart's pumping a little bit. It all depends on how fast I can kill these brothers. Really. I am on pace, like, but it's gonna be close.
Seize him!
Okay.
Suddenly and inexplicably, I discovered the Reaver suspiciously laid across my path. Again, I sensed nothing of that temporal distortion, the peculiar sense of displacement I had felt when I encountered the Reaver in William's chapel. Cornered here with the blade, I suffered the same nameless dread that I had experienced when Janos first presented the Reaver to me. I felt at once repelled by the blade, and yet overwhelmingly compelled to seize it.
So, Raziel, here we are, finally. You have no choice but to confront me now, and I am not so foolish as I've let you believe. We have business to conclude.
You knew I would lead the Seraphim to Janos, you vile bastard. You've been orchestrating my every move. My destiny is an amusement to you.
It was fun while it lasted. I think not, Raziel. Malik, do not let this creature leave. He poses a danger. Raziel, did you somehow imagine you had the guile to change history on me? I'm the Time Streamer. I knew your every intention before you did, you imbecile.
Lord Mobius, there is trouble within. The circle is under attack.
Fast, Malik. This one is the real danger to us.
What are you trying to concoct here, Mobius?
You toxic creature. Did you imagine I'd simply allow you to run loose, corrupting everything you encounter?
I admit that I've underestimated you to this point, Mobius. It's a mistake I won't repeat.
Wrong again, Raziel. Now, Malik, bolt the door.
Using his staff to disable my Wraithblade, Mobius effectively disarmed me, leaving me with only one choice of weapon. And yet I confess, it was not the lack of options, but blind rage that made me take up the Reaver. In my fury, it felt as though my hand had acted of its own will. And now, that same hand clutched the hilt with unyielding strength, and I felt a constrained tingling, a remote but palpable sense of longing, as the disabled Wraithblade tried vainly to embrace its physical twin.
Come to take your revenge, demon.
Back to hell with you!
I recognize these two as my former brethren. In
Oh, goodness. I'm nervous. I can do it, though. I can do it. I just need to get lucky in these battles.
Kain's brood. These bastards had no idea what future lay in store for them, how they would become the very thing they so despised. The Reaver hummed with ravenous anticipation. Janos had called it a vampiric blade, endowed with the power to drain its victims of their lifeblood. I was eager to see what the Reaver would do to these two.
Ah, come on.
Melchiah and Zephon fell before my blade.
That wasn't terrible.
As keenly as I ever had when
Lost a little bit of time.
I could sense the boundary between us dissolving. The Reaver was consumed with my rage, and I was intoxicated by its bloodlust. The blade had a vitalizing effect on me. My physical energy no longer decayed over time, and the wounds inflicted by my foes healed almost instantly. The Reaver had made me invincible.
Have you come to reclaim the monster's black heart?
You'll have to get through us first.
My former brethren, Duma and Rahab, confronted me next. This all seemed so elegantly choreographed. Exhilarated by the Reaver, I was drunk with revelations. I could finally appreciate the delicious irony of Kain's blasphemous private joke, and I reveled as I colluded with him across the centuries. For it was I who put these bastards in their tomb, thus providing the corpses for Kain to raise as his vampire sons a millennium from now.
Come on. Oh. Okay.
Get back to the pit you crawled from, demon.
And here at last was my brother Turel, who along with Duma would bear me into the abyss without questioning Kain's command. So dutiful and righteous, even as a vampire. I guess some habits die hard. The vampire Turel had eluded my vengeance. The Sarafan Turel would not.
Okay. Okay. I got this.
So, vampire, here we are. You've destroyed my brethren, and now you've come for me. You'll find I'm not...
I got really lucky on the last fight. Let's go.
I don't want to kill you, but I will if I must. Return the heart to me, and we can end this now. So, you've come to avenge that filthy parasite and reclaim his foul heart. You're a righteous fiend, aren't you? Apparently I am. No, vampire. This is where it ends. But you won't be leaving this room. Now, let's finish this. I'll make it mercifully quick. As you did for Janos? No, that beast had eluded us for far too long. It would have been a shame to end him too quickly. It's ironic, really. The great Janos Ordrin turned out to be no challenge at all. Thanks to you. Did you hear his cowardly screams when I tore that black heart out of his carcass?
Yes! 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 Woo! That's awesome.
Sensing its twin, the Wraith Blade uncoiled.
Oh, goodness.
And instead wound lovingly around its former self. I felt its grip loosen, and as the
I think that is literally the first one I've ever had. First world record.
And a terrible revelation gathered like a sword
Oh.
at the edge of my awareness. With all other foes exhausted, the conjoined blades turned themselves on me, and I realized, finally, why I had sensed nothing when Janos offered me the blade. The Reaver was never forged to be a soul-stealing weapon. The ravenous, soul-devouring entity trapped in the blade was, and always had been, me. This is why the blade was destroyed.
Oh. What do I do? I don't even know what to do. My heart was pounding through that fight. He kept blocking and blocking. I'm like, stop it! And I tried to manipulate the AI by, locking and unlocking on him. Usually that helps. I think Terrell being so nice to me and letting me get him on like almost a stun lock for half of his fight, that really helped.
Don't fight it, Raziel. Give into it. Was this your destiny for me all along? Trust me.
I felt myself weakening, unable to hold on any longer. The Reaver was too strong. The compulsion to simply let go, too great. And then, a growing sense of vertigo and the familiar displacement. The paradoxical moment when my twin soul hovered both outside and inside the Reaver blade. This was the instant. The glimmer of temporal distortion Kain had been counting on all along. This was the edge of the coin, the minute flicker of probability upon which Kain had gambled everything.
Now you are free to reclaim your true destiny, Raziel.
Behind Kain's
The Hilden.
new memories blooming and dying.
Raziel. Janos must Stay dead.
See by the dawning horror on his face that perhaps we had strained history too far this time. That by trying to alter my fate, he may have introduced a fatal paradox.
My God. The Hilden.
What if because of that something happened and then Kain just disappeared? Like, oh.
Janos must stay dead.
But Kain's warning was lost as I slipped into the spirit realm, too weak to maintain my physical form. And there, waiting for me as always,
History
was the
abhors a
Reaver,
paradox.
the Wraithblade, my own soul, twinned and bound eternally to me. And I realized that I could never escape my terrible destiny. I had merely postponed it. History abhors a paradox.
And it's gonna flash on screen real quick. Gonna try to play the epilogue. Or the credits, I should say. Or it's just gonna freeze. You know what? That's fine. As long as everything else works, I'm okay with it. Where is my mouse? There's my mouse. Kill it. Alright. Well, thanks everyone who tuned in and everything. I will upload this as soon as I can to speedrun.com because as of now, I should be the world record holder for this category. Let me just double check here. Glitchless. Yep. By almost a minute and a half for now. Did I spark something in you, Demented Salad? Ah, that was good. Alright. Thanks everyone for tuning into the stream. I am going to upload this to speedrun.com. You've been waiting for someone to beat it. Nice. Alright. Well, see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful day.